Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No! I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. They're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the program. We appreciate it. Here we are together again on the radio. And a story from the basketball world that goes way beyond sports. In fact, the story itself really has nothing to do with sports. Maybe you've seen this story. Byron Scott, the coach of the New Jersey Nets basketball team, called for the firing of Boston Globe sports columnist Bob Ryan after he said on a Boston TV station that he, quote, would like to smack Jason Kidd's wife. I'm sure he's the only man who's ever felt this way, too. I think Bob should be out of a job, Scott said, as his team prepared for Wednesday night's Game 2 against the Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Byron Scott said, I think that's ridiculous. I think it's uncalled for. Just tell him to come right in here, and he can say that in front of me and Jason and some of our players, that he would like to slap her around a little bit. He'll see how well he'll be received. While Scott wanted a permanent ban, he'll have to settle for 30 days. Ryan was suspended by the Boston Globe for 1 month without pay and suspended from appearing on TV or radio for a month. Ryan said in a statement last night that he apologized for what he called now the inappropriate and offensive remark. We'll get back to that in a second, that he apologized for this and called it inappropriate and offensive. This is Bob Ryan, the columnist for the Boston Globe, who made the comment. He said, it was, of course, atrocious judgment on my part. I wish to state clearly that I am aware of the very real problem of violence against women in our society, and that in no way is it a joking matter. Nonetheless, Ryan's remarks have put Kidd and his family in a precarious situation during a Nets-Celtics playoff series for the second straight year. During last season's Eastern Conference Finals, Boston fans at the Boston Arena, the bank that sponsors the arena, does not advertise on the Tom Leykis Show. We will not name the arena, and it's irrelevant anyway. Boston fans taunted Kidd with chants of wife beater, reference to Kidd's 2001 arrest on domestic abuse charges. By the way, as usual in Boston, when they chant nasty, vile things at people, didn't make any difference. The Celtics went down like an accordion, and the Nets went to the finals, where they went down like an accordion. Kidd's wife, Germana, had to be moved from her assigned seats for the games in Boston because she felt threatened. Germana said Tuesday she does not plan to attend games 3 and 4, Friday and Monday in Boston. It's unfortunate, said Kidd, who on Tuesday was named second team All-NBA. Bob doesn't know myself or my family on a personal level. I think it's unfortunate that he'd take that stance. More than any other Net, Kidd tries to avoid controversy, but the remarks have forced him to react. Asked if an apology would set things straight, he said, it should be made to my wife, not me. He needs to apologize to Germana because to say you're going to hit somebody, that's very offensive. Really? Mm-hmm. In an appearance on, this is Channel 4 in Boston's Sports Final late Sunday night, Ryan accused Jemana of using son TJ as a prop to get her more television FaceTime at basketball games. He said, I've got theories with this woman, this Jemana kid who wants to be a TV star, Ryan is reported to have said. She wants FaceTime on camera. The great way to get FaceTime is to bring the cute little precocious kid. Oh, great. I'd like to smack her. Apparently realizing the inappropriate nature of the remarks, show host Bob Lobel twice offered Ryan the chance to soften his remarks. After Lobel said, you can't say that, and offered Ryan a mulligan, the columnist responded, I'm not looking for that. So you see, here is, and this is what I said I would get back to here. Here is Bob Ryan, sports columnist, who is apologizing for an inappropriate and offensive remark. But this was not something that he said and then, just pranced on in the conversation. He was given several opportunities to retract it, and he didn't. It says here, Lobel then said, you don't mean to say that. Ryan's response was, why should I say anything different than I said all playoffs last year? The Nets on Tuesday chose to paint Ryan's remarks alternately as racist. Where was the racism there? Can I be honest with you? Look at Jason Kidd. What race is he? Do you know? Can you tell by looking? I can't. I don't know what he is. And nothing in these... Now, again, whether you agree with the comments or not, can anybody tell me what part of these comments made by Bob Ryan were racist? Bob Ryan is white. Jason Kidd is I don't know what, and his wife is I don't know what. Therefore, his kid is I don't know what. I really don't know. Dean, do you have an opinion about that? Do you know? You were a Phoenix Suns fan when Jason Kidd played there. What race is Jason Kidd? You don't know? I mean, is he one of these guys who looks white but he says he's black? I don't know. Don't get it. So, the Nets painted Ryan's remarks as racist, sexist, and violent. Byron Scott even brought Boston's history of poor race relations into play. Where's he from? Scott asked rhetorically. It's not surprising, not to me. It's not surprising that he would say something like that. Shouldn't a professional know better? A professional should have a better sense to know it shouldn't have been said, period. While the remarks were made by a journalist who covers the Celtics, players were split about whether the comments would fuel the Nets' play in the series. Scott even said, I don't think anyone here needs the extra motivation. But what they all agree on is that something needs to be done to make things right. People in this world sometimes should be held accountable for some of the things they say and do, Richard Jefferson said. They can't just sit behind a newspaper or sit behind a desk and criticize people and say things and not believe there's not going to be any actions. Well, look. A lot of things about this story bother me. Number one, did Jason Kidd strike his wife? We'll never know. Don't know. I'm honest about this stuff. I was arrested once on a charge of domestic violence. I was not guilty. There was no evidence. The alleged victim said I didn't do it, and I didn't do it. But that didn't stop people from accusing me of being a violent person, which I'm not. But nonetheless, we have a story here that says that Jason Kidd eventually agreed to a plea bargain and received 6 months of court-ordered counseling. And by the way, that's not all that different from what I went through. I went through 6 months of going to a dingy office in Van Nuys with a bunch of heroin addicts and complete nutcases, and had to listen to a lesbian telling us, why it's okay for women to hit men sometimes, but it's always wrong for men to hit women, and various other stuff that really has nothing to do with whether you're violent or not. And, in fact, in some cases, I think it chills people how to be violent. It was one of the most bizarre experiences in my life. So I'm not going to get all over Jason Kidd for this because I don't know what he did or didn't do. But let's put it this way. If Jason Kidd's wife was never struck, What is the controversy here? If he didn't do it, then why is this a controversial statement? People say all the time, I'd like to kill that person. I'd like to maim that person. I'd like to smack that person. I'd like to punch that person out. We say this all the time. I am certain that Bob Ryan, who now is cowering for his professional life, I am certain he had no intention of smacking anybody. He was on TV. He was on one of these sports shows where a bunch of columnists get on and yell at each other, and they try to top each other to see who can be the most sarcastic, the nastiest, whatever. You know, like any show you've seen with Charles Barkley on, or Pete Vesey, or these shows with sports writers on ESPN or Fox Sports Net or whatever. They throw a bunch of columnists in and they make a bunch of rude remarks. That's what these shows are all about. Does anybody think Bob Ryan, who looks to be, 60, 65, something like that, anybody really believe he was going to go down to the arena and punch out Jason Kidd's wife? Come on. It's a figment of speech. That's all it is. Figure of speech, not a figment of speech. Figure of speech. It's a figure of speech. Had no intention of doing it. So you have one of two possibilities here. Either if Jason Kidd did not smack his wife himself, and because he was never convicted, I'm willing to assume he didn't, then why would somebody saying they'd like to smack a woman for being too cute with her kid? What's the controversy? If she was never indeed a victim. Okay. If she was a victim of Jason Kidd, then Jason Kidd has no one to talk. Because it's one thing to say you'd like to smack someone, and it's another thing to smack them. These are the things that bother me about this story. And now the McCarthyist tactics that will be used on Bob Ryan to make him lose his job, or to keep him off television, or all the things that people are going to try to do to him. Now, let's make it very clear what my point of view is here, okay? Violence is wrong. Unless someone's attacking you, then you have to defend yourself. It's wrong. I do not agree with the phrase violence against women, because I don't think violence against women is any worse than violence. Violence is violence, and it's illegal, and it's wrong, and you shouldn't do it. But you know what is not wrong? Freedom of speech. And freedom of figures of speech. And if somebody says they'd like to kill somebody, or they'd like to smack somebody, or they'd like to punch somebody, guess what? God bless America. We have a First Amendment, and you have the freedom to say things like that. You don't have the freedom to do violent things, but you certainly have the right to have violent emotions or violent feelings, or to express violent thoughts. I mean, look at the new Quentin Tarantino movie coming out soon. Kill Bill is the name of it. Kill Bill. I mean, should we arrest Quentin Tarantino? Should we suspend him for suggesting killing somebody? Come on, this is stupid. Stupid. Don't you think?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Even just having money and just having class are like two different things, because you could be rich all you want and be a total jerk.
I'd rather be a jerk with money than to be a big fat poor guy.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Let's go!
The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Don on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Not much.
Hey, Tom, I don't see what's so different between what a journalist said and what Byron Scott said. Didn't he invite him down to the locker room? Isn't that kind of a threat?
Well, you're right about that. And, that's a very good point.
Is it because the journalist is a male?
That's a very good point. And while I'm not really sure what Jason Kidd's race is, I know what Byron Scott's race is, and I know what Bob Ryan's race is. So one could also say that Byron Scott's comments are certainly racist. If Bob Ryan's comments were racist.
Amen to that, brother.
I mean, I tell you what, if you're a better man, then be a better man.
That's right, man. I agree. Hey, can you take me out with a bong rip?
Here you go, Don.
Thanks, Tom.
1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Eddie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello. Eddie.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, I try to be a good listener, and I'm wondering if I missed part of your story where you were saying in your own personal experience where you were not guilty, but yet you told the story about going to counseling. Did you volunteer for that?
Well, if you really need to know the whole story, which has been told on this show many, many times, and it's also appeared in a number of newspaper articles about me, I was in the process of accepting this job 3,000 miles from where I was living at the time. So I could have stayed in town another 6 months and fought to clear my good name, or I could have accepted a settlement where I went to this course in Van Nuys, and I did.
Okay, well, congratulations on making it through that.
Well, thank you. I certainly deserve it.
Have a good one.
Thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Navi, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, I heard you asking earlier what race you think Jason Kidd is. Well,
yeah.
He's white, his wife is Mexican, and his kid is black. So, I mean, has anyone gone out to ask the mailman or milkman what he is? What's going on with this guy?
Well, it's Byron Scott, the coach of the New Jersey Nets, who is accusing Bob Ryan of being a racist. What did he say that was racist?
Nothing.
It's outrageous.
He said absolutely nothing.
And they're just trying to stir things up here. This is ridiculous.
I mean, this is just like getting Bill Maher off of ABC. They're just doing it's just another way of getting someone off the radio. They probably have a personal grudge against him.
How many times have you said you'd like to slap someone, or you'd like to punch someone, or you'd like to kick someone's ass? How many times do people say that in the course of a day?
Today, about 30.
Yeah. So what? You're not supposed to say it about a woman? You're not supposed to say it about a woman who called 911 to turn her husband in for domestic violence, and then he copped a plea? You're not supposed to. I mean, what? I don't understand what it is he was not supposed to do here.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I would say if you think violence is wrong, tell your wife to not call 911 anymore, since nothing's going on at your house and there's nothing to worry about, and then people won't start thinking this way.
I mean, she probably had it coming. She probably did.
Oh, no. Nobody has it coming. I mean, that I don't agree with that.
Oh, no, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying in that sense. What probably happened was there probably was an argument. She probably started hitting him.
Look, we don't know what happened. I've never read any details of this story except to see that Jason Kidd was arrested, that Jason Kidd had a mugshot that appeared on the smokinggun.com, and that Jason Kidd copped a plea and went to 6 months of counseling. Sure. You know, and that whole thing is designed so that you never really know what did or didn't happen. It leaves the whole thing in the air. But let's be realistic. If I'm Jason Kidd, I got no comment about this. Because do you really want us to start investigating? You know, it's one thing to say you want to smack someone, but what did Jason Kidd do? You really want to start looking down that road?
Well, did he plead guilty to that?
It was a plea bargain.
It was a plea bargain?
And you know what a plea bargain is? It's like, essentially you're pleading no contest, meaning, well, we'll never really know what happened, but he'll go to counseling.
Ah, jeez.
So, you know, if Jason Kidd thinks what Bob Ryan did was wrong, we really ought to find out what Jason did or didn't do, don't you think? Thanks a lot for the call.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis. Oh.
This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM, we're talking about the story about Boston Globe columnist Bob Ryan and his comments about the wife of New Jersey Nets basketball player Jason Kidd. Coco on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, I like your show, and I just want to let you know that I agree with everything you're saying right now because sometimes, you know, people are stupid. They do stupid things and they say stupid things. He had a chance to go back and retract his statement, but he didn't want to do it, you know, and stuff like that.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, Tom, I want to tell you something. The guy that answers the phone, tell him the way he talks to me, he's just too fine.
He'll come over and crack your ass.
I want him to, and he's playing with me because every time I call up there, he tells me, hey, Nubian princess, and I do this to you, I do that, but he still doesn't want to give me his number or anything, but I see how it is.
Does he have your number?
He doesn't want to get it. I don't know. Is he gay or something?
Doesn't want, you know, what do you look like, Coco?
Oh, I'm 5'9". I'm 160, yeah.
Oh, boy.
I have my tongue and my pierced. I don't know. My hair is brownish red. I don't know. I have brown eyes.
Yeah.
What else do you want to know?
I'm doing this on behalf of Dean, of course. Cause,
yeah, he tells me, Italian guys have big things, but, he's afraid to show it to me.
Oh, he's afraid to show it to you?
I guess, he doesn't want to talk to me on that level.
I don't know. Dean, what's your reason for not wanting to hook up here? What's the... Oh, you're in. He says he's in.
He's in. How did he get in?
I don't know. I guess he heard you describe yourself, and now he's in.
Yeah. And, this is not the first time I've called up here and talked to him. And that's what kills me, because the first time I talked to him, he's like, girl, you know what I would do to you? I'd wax that ass and da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay. Well,
you're all ready. You're dripping all over the bed. You're all ready.
You don't even know. I'm at work right now. I'm supposed to be, working. But right now I'm just thinking about him.
Really?
His big thing. No.
You are?
No, I've never been with an Italian guy,
Oh, yeah?
I've only been with, black guys. Every now and then I'll go with a white guy. But
Dean's got the jungle fever. There's no doubt about it.
And he calls me a Nubian princess. That makes me feel good.
Oh, so look at that. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll put you back on hold, and Dean will seal the deal with you.
He better. I'm gonna call back up to you and make you handle it.
Really? Now, all I ask is, will you promise me one thing? After he seals the deal with you and you see him, you call back and give me a full report.
Oh, I promise I will.
All right, Coco.
All right.
Because I don't. Dean will tell you he's falling in love with you and stuff. And
you want details?
Yeah, I want details.
Sloppy details.
Yeah, you know what? Some for the air, and then some will go to a break, and I'll get the rest off of you.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Okay, good. Hang on.
All right.
I'm always hooking Dean up here. Tell you what. Dean said ever since I hooked up with a girlfriend, life has never been better. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. This is Tim on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
What's up, Tom, man?
Yeah, not much, Tim.
Yeah, man, Jason Kidd is mixed. He's black and white, so he's basically black. And his girl is black and white. I played college ball against him.
Well, somebody just said that his wife was Mexican.
No.
She's not?
No. He's black.
So if you're a mix of black and white, that makes you black?
If you're a mix of black and white, you're black.
Really?
Dominant gene.
But he looks white.
But he's black. Everything he does is black.
But what does that mean? I mean, is black a color? What is it?
You know how, like, if you actually meet him, he's actually black. I mean, everything he does is black. His mother is white. He's like Derek Jeter, except people.
Well, is Eminem black? Eminem thinks he's black.
No, that's thinking and R is two different things.
Oh, and what makes Jason Kidd black and Eminem not?
Because Eminem has no ounce of black in him.
So you have to have an ounce of black in you, and then you are black.
Yes.
Even if it's only an ounce.
Right. Right. You gotta have something in you, or you can't be considered black. You know what I mean? If you're a white guy and you grew up in a black neighborhood and you say, "Well, I think I'm black," doesn't mean if you're black. If a riot starts.
Now, Coco, that's right, exactly. When the riot starts.
My theory is this: if a riot starts, right, and your best friend is a white guy. I have a lot of my friends are white. I play ball with them. You know what I mean? A lot of my best friends are white. If a riot starts, I can't hang with you. I'm going to get my ass. You're going to get your ass whooped if you're around me. So it goes both ways.
Now, Coco, who just called in, she's about to have something else in her.
Oh, she's about to have some Italian?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not mad at her.
Little hot sausage in her.
Hey, man, let me tell you something, man. I'm an equal opportunity employer, man. You know what I mean?
Me too.
I'm in the fine girls. I'm not in the race girls. I'm in the fine girls.
Absolutely.
The most beautiful you are, the more I'm with you. But Jason Kidd is black. His wife is black. That's why the kid looks like that, because he has like a little bit of the white in him. But
there's a little bit of the white in him.
Because he has another kid that nobody knows about, that he won't let the media know about.
Oh, really? How do you know?
Just I know these things. I know stuff about him.
You do?
Yeah, I just can't. That's not my boy, but my friend, one of my best friends' cousin has a kid by him.
Well, they don't call him Jason Kidd for nothing, do they?
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. All right, man. It's the first time calling, man. But you got skills, man. I'm gonna keep checking on you, man.
All right, Tim.
All right, yo.
Thanks a lot. They might have to change his name to Jason Bastard. 5-800-TOM. John on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Mr. Tom, how are you?
Oh, I'm Mr. John.
I'm good. Listen, I seem to remember John Calipari, Coach Chaney from Temple, going after him, and on national television at the press conference after the game, post-game, and using the F word, and he will effing kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And there were no consequences whatsoever from that. When did everybody start getting so sensitive?
Oh, I agree with you.
It's driving me crazy.
I agree. I totally agree with you. And the fact is, of course, I think what's going on here is that the person that Bob Ryan would like to smack is a woman. And God forbid you should ever say that about a woman. Now, it's one thing to say something and another thing to do it. But what, now you can't have freedom of speech? You can't use a figure of speech? What, you can't?
You know what, Tom? Every day I drive down the 101 to work, you're going to have to call my boss because all the people I'm yelling at driving down the road, I should get fired because, I want to kill some people sometimes, too.
Of course you do.
It's insane. I can't believe how sensitive people are. They need to get over it. It's sports. He's talking smack, whether he meant it or not. It's not inappropriate. It's a figure of speech, like you said.
Not only that, he's on one of these stupid shows. Talk to the sports writers, and they get 4 guys with beer gut, balding guys with beer guts who sit there telling you their opinion about sports.
Exactly.
And they try to make sarcastic, rude remarks. Who can be ruder? Who can be more clever?
Absolutely.
That's what all these shows are like. So what?
I agree. Hey,
I'll tell you what, if Bob Ryan ever slapped anybody, I'd be the first to tackle him.
I agree, yeah, and beat him down. Again, he would deserve it, but he's just talking. He's just full of wind. That's all he is.
Absolutely.
Hey, tell Dino, the Nubian princess, he's got to take one for the team. Her voice is good enough to do that. And then you can just share it with all of us.
I will.
Pleasure speaking with you. Thanks.
Thank you, John. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Bob on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom, how are you? Everyday listener, first-time caller.
Thank you, Bob.
Hey, Tom, listen, kind of feeling you in some ways, but not in others. First thing I want to say is that, I went through an anger management thing, and you know as well as I do, and I think you were right when you said that nobody will ever know what Jason Kidd did.
That's right.
And sometimes it's just easier to take the plea and just move on with life rather than go through the hassle of fighting it.
Right.
And having said that, Bob Ryan, like you said, big beer belly guys, bald head, shooting their mouths off, but at some point in time, a man's got to take responsibility for what he says. And I think Jason Kidd just showed a lot of restraint by just saying, hey, I think you owe my wife an apology. Because I really believe that if Jason was standing there when he said it, or any other man was standing there when he said it about his wife, I think he might have been grabbed and, probably choked an apology out of him.
And then he'd be going to jail.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But,
because here is the difference. You can say anything you want. You can't do anything you want.
Well, no, you can. You just make bad decisions when you do.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is, had Bob Ryan made this comment rather than on a TV show or in a newspaper, had Bob Ryan walked up to Jason Kidd and said, I'd like to smack your wife, Jason Kidd probably would take a swing at Bob Ryan, but guess who would be going to jail? Not Bob Ryan.
It would definitely be Jason. And you
know
something? I could really feel for the guy if he did. But, I don't know. I just think I guess my bottom line for me is I think the guy showed a lot of restraint and professional. The only thing he could have done is said nothing. When asked about it, he spoke up and he said,
I think he should have said nothing because we really don't know what happened that night between Jason Kidd and his wife. We don't know.
Yeah, but that really doesn't matter. That's a separate issue.
Well, here's why it matters, okay? If he did do it, he should shut up.
Absolutely. Because he's a hypocrite.
Right.
But if he didn't, he's got the right to speak up.
If he didn't do it.
If he didn't do it.
But the point is, since we don't know if he did or he didn't, if I'm like his agent or manager, I'd be like, shut up. Shut up.
I couldn't agree with that more. But, but again, if he didn't do it, I think the guy showed restraint and, he stuck up for his wife and, but hey, I think Bob Ryan needs to just, I think these guys need to curtail themselves. Like you said, they're just trying to be as sarcastic as possible, who can be as belligerent over the next guy as they can, and, yet they don't want to be held responsible for what they say.
Well, the point is, again, I don't think that Bob Ryan should be punished for going on a stupid show like this and playing the game.
No, I don't think he should have been punished the way he was, but I certainly think I think he should be held responsible enough where Jason.
What would you say? Well, yeah, but again, if he wants to apologize to Jason Kidd's wife, fine. The guy's been suspended from his job without pay for 30 days. He can't appear on TV or radio. And you got these people calling for his firing. And then you got Byron Scott, who on the one hand is criticizing him for violence, and the other hand is essentially threatening him if he ever comes near the New Jersey Nets.
Yeah, well, Byron's acting like an idiot, and he's got to keep his nose out of the business that doesn't concern him. No doubt about that at all. And as far as Bob Ryan losing his job and being suspended, that's way too drastic. But I just think the guy should be held accountable, and I think he owes the guy's wife an apology. And
I don't think he does. You know what? I don't even think he owes her an apology. Saying he'd like to smack her is a figure of speech we use every day about people, and it is not racist, and it is not sexist. In fact, I think he was showing equality by saying the same thing about a woman that he would probably say about a man.
Right.
Haven't you ever said you wanted to kill someone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Haven't you ever said you wanted to punch someone in the face?
Absolutely.
Kick somebody's ass? You ever said that?
Yeah, absolutely said it and done it.
Now, so why is it wrong when Bob Ryan says this about this particular person? I don't get it.
It's only wrong if he can't back it up. If he's sitting there saying it, and
now, saying you'd like to do something is not saying I'm going to be at the Fleet Center tonight about 8:30.
Tom, I think just about any man out there, if he's standing there with his woman and some guy says, "I'd like to slap you," I think he's going to step up.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I know I would. And, the consequence, I've got to sit there and weigh the consequences. Is it worth going through another 12 months of anger management?
Well, you know what? I can think of 5 women who are famous right now I'd like to slap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can think of 5 of them right now, and I'll bet you could, too.
Absolutely, probably more than that.
Well, that's my point. You know what? This is a sentiment we all express all the time. This is McCarthyism. It's stupid. Stupid.
It's blown way out of proportion.
No doubt about it. Speaking of being blown way out of proportion, that looks like you.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800. 1-800-5800.
One easy way to tell what you look like is to ask how much money your husband makes. If your husband makes $1 million a year, I want to see you naked. If your husband makes $35,000 a year, don't even bother showing it to me. I don't want to see. If you make twice the money your husband makes, you're hideous. Bottom line.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis. Only on Hot.
The Tom Leykis Show. It's Veronica. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Well, I think it's offensive. It's like saying you want to slap someone's kid or, someone's mother. If
wait a minute. It's okay to say it about a man?
Well, if you're a guy, I would think you're being a punk if you want to hit on a woman. Why doesn't he want to hit him?
Some women are like they just came home from Iraq. They could beat the crap out of you.
That's true.
Why are you being sexist about this?
I'm not being sexist, but I think a lot of people would be upset if someone said, "I'd sure like to slit, Nicole Brown Simpson's throat." I think it's along the same line.
Well, you'd be wasting your time. Someone already did that.
I'm sorry?
Someone already did that.
Exactly. So if Jumana was already hit and abused.
Well, that's the other thing. Jason Kidd will never tell us what he actually did or didn't do.
Right.
And so, put it this way, he shouldn't have an opinion about this at all, unless he wants to start saying, well, Jason, why'd your wife call 911 that time?
Exactly. I think he...
what's worse, saying you want to smack someone or actually smacking?
But see, what if he's gotten help and he doesn't do it anymore?
Oh, well, but even so, that you're still not in a position to comment on what someone else is saying about that.
If it's regarding your family, I think you do.
Well, saying you want to smack someone doesn't mean you're going to smack them.
That's true.
And haven't you ever said you wanted to kick someone's ass or you wanted to kill somebody or you wanted to... Come on.
Yeah, but as a journalist, they should be, more professional than that.
But that is the profession. Have you ever seen one of these shows? Guys watch them all the time. These shows with sports reporters or sports columnists, and they sit around a desk or a table and they all yell at each other. That's the kind of show this is.
But, he should address that towards Jason Kidd, not his wife. What does his wife have to do with it?
Because his wife is on TV all the time. So's that kid all the time. If you watched any of these games with the Nets, every game, there they are, smiling and waving at the camera.
Well,
how cute.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Veronica. Appreciate the call. Real fast here, Lance, can you get it in quickly?
Yeah, normally I agree with you, Tom, but I'm telling you, where I come from, man, that's his business. He smacked his wife, that's his business. Nobody.
Oh, it is. It's his business?
I smack my wife, that's my business. Somebody talk about my wife, says they want to...
Pal, let me tell you something. If you smack your wife, it's society's business, and we will put you in prison.